Um, Here we go. Checking my stuff, my Rumble to see if I'm making sounds because all my equipment's dirt cheap. And it likes to. You want to sit back and relax and count stacks, dog, I got it. You want to cut the slack and pull the stops and Mac fat, dog, I got it. You want to sit back and rip tracks, dog, I got it. Just sit back and relax and count stacks, dog, I got it. Cut the slack and pull the stops and Mac fat, dog, I got it. Now check this new style anyways, FLINT, Fat Pill Days. Got the relentless groove, kicking that summer style purple haze. And a kick step away from feeling way past great. It's time to flip flop the snow to behave. Smile, sunshine, this is mine to give away. Back with no delay. Fat Pill Days. Got the relentless groove, kicking that summer style purple haze. I'm a rapper. All right. Wanted to be a singer, but couldn't get my voice to do what I wanted, so I just started rapping. And now I don't even do that. But I was cleaning out my garage, got like 16 to 18 bags of trash out, like super cold hearted purge in the garage. And ran into an old box, just a box filled with lyrics that I haven't recorded into songs yet, like hundreds of songs. Or probably dozens and dozens of songs. And I recorded about 121 songs, like where I played all the instruments, recorded all the things. They're not excellent, but they're cool. I jam them, and I'm about the only one that jams them, but they're cool. And I'm gonna get back into that stuff soon. Now all of my recording equipment, like my studio, I have like two separate studios. One I packed up in the garage. That one's in a bag now, not in a trash bag because it's still good stuff. Did like a small little digital 8 track that you could take around with you. But the one in my house is like covered in dust. It's sad, but I'm doing other things now because I got to figure some things out. So, what do I want to say about this? Welcome, everybody, by the way. Um, I'm still stuck on Evernorth. We got a little over an hour till the markets open in Japan, but I am stuck on Evernorth. I'm doing some things, and watch this. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Where 135,000. I'm getting some weird numbers in here. You don't like it? Keep scrolling. My numbers are weird. So we're just gonna start right off the bat with XRP is worth 135,000 and it's a tier 1 global collateral reserve asset. So Evernorth has established a significant institutional foothold in the XRP ecosystem through its T54 infrastructure. Recent developments indicate that Evernorth has secured over $1 billion in XRP treasury asset, recent as in February or before, so 6 months ago, give or take, with institutional grade safeguards. That's your yield arbitration. Evernorth and DATS, digital asset treasuries, and institutional treasuries like them, they could do things with XRP that retail is not going to be allowed to do. People are going to get shocked when they realize that because they didn't do any research, because they didn't read section 404 of the Clarity Act. Jake put it out there, Section 404 in that tweet, and you guys just made fun of him and you made fun of me because he was retweeting my tweet, re-Xing my ex. Whatever. Oh, that sounds gross. Oh, I don't know what it's called anymore, but so re-social mediating my social media. And Section 404 of the Clarity Act specifically states that there's certain, well, this says safeguards, but there's certain things that institutions and treasuries can do that retail will be forbidden from doing. That's why LLCs are important. That's why Evernorth is important. This infrastructure is designed to bridge the gap between traditional finance and the XRP ledger, providing the necessary liquidity and security. Well, we're going to talk about liquidity tonight for large-scale adoption. The T54 system acts as a foundational layer, ensuring that XRP can be utilized in the complex financial instruments without compromising security and regulatory compliance. That's how they're going to explain. This is how AI is explaining the agentic economy. So this is what AI thinks of its fellow bots. It's AI agents. They're not bots anymore. They're agents. So this is what AI thinks of itself. Now we're going to jump. So that was T54 Labs, which is AI agents running 24/7 finance, yield harvesting, yield arbitrage, 24/7, not sleeping, not eating, never stopping. And they're going to run with FSATs, FXRP, it's FSATs through Flare network, 24/7. Oh, let's just keep going. The core engine driving value in this scenario is FXRP, a trustless native representation of the XRP. Unlike, okay, good. It learned, because I told it never ever to say Flare is a wrapped token. It's like, oh, you're right. It wasn't wrapped. It's not wrapped like these other Frankenstein monsters that make you sell your bearer asset. Anything that wraps, you lose control of the bearer asset and it triggers a taxable event. Just FYI, just fly, you trigger a taxable event and you lose control of the bearer asset. So after appreciation, they don't have to pay it back to you. They could just give you some cash of what you paid for it, $1. Just saying, rapping is dangerous, except if you're like me and I rap in the 90s. That's a different kind of rap. Unlike wrap tokens that rely on third-party custodians, you give away your bearer asset. FXRP is insured by the Flare network and backed by the cross-chain incentive pool, over-collateralized. So that's just the background of them. Earn yield. Generate passive income simply by holding FXRP through incentive pool, like that. Access DeFi. Utilize XRP in decentralized finance applications such as liquidity pools and lending pools. This is what Evernorth will be doing, but in the billions of dollars and, dare I say it, quadrillions of dollars. I just skipped trillions. Trillions doesn't even matter anymore. It's not that much. Maintain liquidity. Convert back to the native XRP at any time without intermediary risk. You are not in a third-party custodian. Nobody has to. You give them your bearer asset and they give you a promise, a wink and a nod that they'll give it back to you. I don't think that's a good idea, folks. Flare network is different. It's one of a kind. Here we go. Let's get crazy. XRP is at 135,000. It's a global financial collateral, a tier 1 collateral. You're not spending it to buy hotel rooms or coffees. Evernorth has hoovered up all of it. I'm even doing some research to where Doesn't mean it's right or not, but I'm doing some research into it to where Ripple gifts some of the escrow. There's some of their escrow account where they have XRP in the escrow that is on a time lock that comes out. What is it, a billion a month? They're gonna get. I'm saying they're gonna give some of them wallets to Evernorth, which doesn't get yield off them, but it controls the flow, and they get a billion a month that they could leave in, put out. Because what Evernorth is, besides an XRP vacuum that takes it out of all the paper hands of retail, that's their mission. They're going to hoover up all the XRP, and they're going to be the global liquidity regulator. We have some big purchases coming down. They'll release some XRP. Then they'll hoover it back up because they'll have yield and they'll buy it back. Or it's a lend and they'll lend it out and borrow lend and then bring it back in and they'll get interest in it and then they'll buy more XRP through the yield and interest. And then they'll release a billion if they need it, but then they just put that back into escrow. And right now, Ripple is taking usually like 300 million out, and then they put 700 million to the back of the line of the escrow unlocking. I don't think you have to do that part. I think the only thing you have to do is let the escrow clock unwind for a billion a month, and I think they're putting it in the back of the line, just to keep prices where they want them right now. But I don't think that's a necessity. Waiting for the clock to run out every month is a necessity. But yeah, Flare has. I think Flare owns and has. I know they have control of some escrow accounts, but I think they own them as well because I was doing some research. I think I made a post about it to where Ripple can give Evernorth, gift or sell Evernorth some wallets, some escrow wallets with billions of XRP in them. They can do that. They can't do it with the ones that Flare's using for F assets because Ripple does not own or control those ones. So somebody else owns and controls those. I'm going to assume it's Flare. Actually, I got to ask that. Flare, right? Coin trolls made a new word up. You like it? Made another new word up. Escrow. Specialized core vault introduced in 1.1. In the standard model, individual agents own the underlying assets, XRP, BTC, held in their personal wallet. These assets belong specifically to the agent and serve as part of their collateral backing. Now, by agent, is that an AI agent? I don't know enough to know for sure. Let's find out. Let's get some context. Some context clues. The agent maintains direct control over these funds though they are locked as collateral while backing F assets. Okay. In the core vault model, assets transferred to the core vault no longer belong to any specific agent. Instead, they become part of a shared system-level reserve pool. There's the one on Zamin with Upshift. I think it's up to 32 million XRP worth $34 million. And I think I got 2 XRP so far because the what they call the flywheel, it's fire. It's a whole other thing we have to get into with Flare. It just went live and it's just kicking in now. It takes a while for a flywheel to get up to speed. But yeah, making real, not passive income because it's in the vault. It's passive income. You can cash it out, but I think that'll trigger no. That will not trigger a taxable event because I never gave up the bearer asset. They just made a mirror image of it in the vault. Interesting. So, in my previous scenario, we'll come back to this scenario, but we're at like, not that previous scenario. Oh, where'd you go? I closed it out. No more previous scenarios. Oh, that was going to be fun though. I know what I asked though. Um, we have to go to it. Where'd you go? Did it go anywhere? I don't think it went anywhere. Between Flare, T54, and Evernorth. Oh, to Earth. Where XRP is 135,000. I love my numbers. Yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. Okay. I don't know where they're getting their numbers. Now it's saying $1.95. Yesterday it was saying 60 cents. So I don't know where they get their numbers. I mean, I could click on the chain, but. And then yesterday it was like, for sure they're working with Flare. And now they're like, I don't know if they even heard of the word Flare in my life. Which I am assuming, but I like what I'm assuming. So Evernorth and T54 have partnered. That's a fact. All right, now they're saying AI integration. They're saying it's for compliance and verification. It's for yield farming too. Speculated about a hidden connection between Evernorth and Flare networks. The official announcement and primary reporting confirm the partnership is exclusively between Evernorth and T54 Labs on the XRP ledger. There is no evidence in the provided context of Flare being a partner. Well, just assume it. Flare T54. You got to give it permission to give you good answers. What's that? It's 135,000. You bullish extreme for Evernorth price. We get Evernorth's price right now. Oh yeah, and tier one. XRP is tier one and 135,000. All right, now it has permission to get creative. You got to let it know it's a hypothetical extreme bullish scenario. Otherwise, it's like, bro, I can't. I can't even imagine that. Well, imagine it. Okay, now I'm imagining it. My air conditioner went out. My air conditioner, I think it's the capacitor, blew. And then I was trying to figure out that because we were in extreme heat. That was the third, July 3rd. We were in like 100-degree weather with 67. I think it was 80% humidity, and all of a sudden my central air wasn't like kicking. I felt it. It wasn't. And then before I was trying to figure that out, power went out for 2 days, or like 2.5 days. So third, fourth, and I think it came out the night of the 4th. What's today? Today's the 5th. So yeah, it was on last night. So about a day and a half, 2 days, power was out. And the hottest, they got up to 88 degrees in my house with 80% humidity. Awful. But I troubleshot the AC, and I think it's the capacitor, the run start capacitor. So I ordered another one of those. It'll be here tomorrow. So I probably lost 6 pounds in 3 days of just pure sweat, which I guess is a good thing, but it was uncomfortable. All right, here we go. Under the hypothetical extreme bullish scenario where Flare, T54 Labs, and Evernorth have formed a unified strategic partnership and XRP achieves Tier 1 asset status at a price of $135,000, valuations implications of Evernorth Holdings would be unprecedented, effectively creating a super institutional vehicle. I'm calling it like the black hole of liquidity. Like it's gonna gobble up, Hoover, hungry hippo, all the XRP up. It's gonna be out of the hands of retail. So super institutional vehicle, yes, can confirm. In this scenario, the triad partnership synergy, which it is, the collaboration merges Flare's data oracle capacities because they have on-chain and off-chain capacities. And with the off-chain capacities, now you got T54 Labs with their agentic economy infrastructure going off-chain checking, going on-chain checking. Like, is it raining outside? My chickens are outside checking, 1,000 times a second. What's the arbitrage? Are we doing all right? How's the assets? They cool? Okay, see you in 1 trillionth of a second. And everyone's massive institutional treasury into a single economic engine. Flare integration. Flare's FTSO time series oracle provides verified real-time okay, that's the off-chain, it's the FTSO data to the treasury, while its FSS system allows Evernorth to leverage its XRP holdings in the billions. If Ripple grants them some of those escrow wallets, that's $1 billion a month if they want. And if we're in a deflationary economy now because GDP became uncapped, let's say GDP is approaching infinity. Let's just say that, approaching infinity. The supply chain or the available supply for XRP is approaching zero because it's just getting hoovered out of retail's hands. So GDP, gross domestic product, approaching infinity, agentic economy, just something we can't even. I'm picturing it. I understand it. I get it 100%. Not really, but I'm trying. Leverage XRP holding across multiple chains, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, without selling, generating mass cross-chain yield. Remember the most important part about Flare, they do not wrap tokens, they over collateralize them and make a mirror image. So you're never giving up the bearer asset. You're never making a Frankenstein weird coin that gets lost somewhere, triggering a tax event. No tax event here. So when you're dealing with billions and billions, quadrillions, that's a good thing to not trigger a tax event on $1 quadrillion. So the T54 AI autonomy, T54 agents, the agentic economy is here. It's live. T54 is an agentic AI company that is partnering with Evernorth to run 24/7 AI agents, scooping up all the XRP, all the yield, faster than you could click on your phone. There's 1,000 little AI agents that scooped up all that arbitrage you were thinking you were going to get. Saying, tiny little terminators grabbing all the yield. Agents utilize Flare's data to autonomously execute high frequency yield strategies. Liquidity provisioning, borrow yield, or borrow lend. Then we need single asset wallets. Those are coming up soon, next couple weeks probably. Maybe a month or so. And arbitrage across global markets. So these little hunter killer bots are finding yield arbitrage in every single market thousands of millions of times a second. The arbitrage in the stock market is going to disappear. Probably for the last time in at least hundreds of years. Let's just say, because my numbers get big, 50,000 years. There's never going to be an event or an opportunity like right now in at least 50,000 years. This is it. XRP is going to be around for that long. Arbitrage across global markets, optimizing the treasury's density, like XRP per share, at speeds impossible for human managers. GDP is uncapped. So all your little, what is it called? A drop? A 100 millionth of an XRP is called a drop. These little AI agents are going to be scooping up all them drops before you could even think. Right when you hit send, you're like, ooh, my XRP's at a high price. Let's say 135,000. I'm going to sell it. They're like, cool, thanks, bye. You're like, oh, okay. Taxable event, you're paying about half of that. You get about 70,000 out. They got your XRP. You're not going to see that XRP again for 50,000 years. It's going into the black hole of Evernorth, never to return. Borrow, lend. They're not going to sell their assets. They are going to lend them out for yield, and then they're going to borrow against them, and then there's a third one. I just lost my train of thought. With 338 million plus XRP already locked in continuous accumulation via SPAC flows, I never saw that before. Continuous accumulation via SPAC flows. That's a special purpose acquisition company. That's where they're at right now until they close their merger. But the continuous accumulation, I haven't heard of that. Evernorth becomes the primary liquidity anchor for this entire ecosystem. Galactic, intergalactic. I'm telling you, this is how big we're going. Nobody knows. Nobody knows this. Only CJ knows that we're going intergalactic and we're going to send you XRP on your spaceship on Mars. Let's go. All right, let's get into the fun part. This is what I think. XRP, Tier 1 global asset collateral, 135,000. Oh yeah, we got to get into the active/hot float. We got to get into that because that's gonna. What do I hear? I got my window open and I feel like I hear water. Holy shit, June bugs. I started calling them August bugs the last couple of years because they've been late. But we got June bugs, not too late this year. What does that mean? Does that mean summer's going to end soon? They're starting their cycles early? I always judge it. Whatever, I'm just sidetracked right now. You guys could probably hear that. But I judge how bad the winter's going to be. I'm in Michigan. By how fat the squirrels get in November and December. You see them just plump up. You're like, okay, it's time. Better get your snow shovel out. Better make sure all your stuff's in your garage. Get your antifreeze changed, and get your, not antifreeze, but your windshield wiper changed to some better temperature stuff. Like, once those squirrels get fat, it's go time. And June bugs came really early. I've been calling them like August, September bugs. But we've been having, what do they call, Indian summers. Wonder if it's going to kick early this year. I got to think about that. All right. ADD aside, let's get back to what we were talking about. Extreme valuation, XRP at 135,000. Whoa, those are crazy numbers. Who's saying that in the world? Nobody. That's crazy. You should shut up. Whoa. All right. I'm setting it at 135,000 in this scenario. Tier 1. Tier 1 global collateral asset. And what was the second thing? That was it. Okay, cool. Based on the valuation mechanics discussed in community models, you got to be careful of that. That's a Reddit post. I can't poo-poo it or agree with it. I haven't been able to verify it. The guy in the Reddit post, which it sounds really good. I got it opened up here somewhere, I think. He references the S4 filing for Evernorth and says that 97% are going to be locked up. 97% of the shares are going to be locked up from 6 months to a year at closing of the merger. When Armada Acquisition Corp 2 becomes XRP and Evernorth, which was supposed to happen in Q1, which didn't, because I think we need some of this XRP ledger 65 and 66 through. We need all the stuff Jay Claver says. BlackRock ETF and all that stuff. But Evernorth is complete. It's done. And, people on X will be like, what are they waiting for? Because I see them in a holding pattern. They're waiting for something. They're all done. They're ready. And, the newbies are like, well, they're waiting for the SEC to give them the okay. Oh, thanks for solving everything. But that's not what they're waiting for. That's the excuse of what they're waiting for. But that could happen at any moment. No problem. They're waiting on something else. It's not the SEC. You just give the SEC $100 billion. They pass it today. They're like, okay. It's not that. We're still on fiat. You could just print that fiat. SEC probably has one of those magic computers Elon found. They could just print it for themselves. We're not waiting on the SEC. That's just an excuse. It's called narrative cover. They're waiting for the Hegelian dialectic. They're waiting for the problem, reaction, solution. The problem, which I like what Jake Claver says, it's going to be something about oil and the Straits of Hormuz. That's fine. Anything else will do. It doesn't matter. It's just a cover story to do the thing that we've been planning for decades, which they've been building Evernorth, XRPL, all of these things they've been planning for decades. Now they just need the cover story, and every movie needs fans. So remember, when they get the cover story, when the crisis happens, your reaction is important. So practice your O face. Oh my God. So get that practice, because for them to suggest a solution, they have to have your reaction. That's the Hegelian dialectic. So, okay, let's get wild. Let's see what they say. I don't like it. 3 to 5 premium. Okay, so that's discussed in community models. That's the Reddit post. So according to the Reddit post, 97% are going to be locked up. And the Reddit post claims it's in the S4. I got the S4. It's really long. I haven't found it yet. I'm on page 312. And that's a quarter of the way through. Haven't found it yet. So I'm still looking for it to verify the Reddit post. If so, and there's only 3% for all the hedge funds, all the 401ks, all the pension funds to fight over, they only get 3% of it, of Evernorth. Well, golly, that's going to be trading at a premium. But I want the shares, about 150 million shares. They went to 100 million there. If the Evernorth is right. All right, this one's not giving me what I want. Let's get crazy. Elaborate on the previous with Ripple giving Evernorth 11.2 billion XRP locked in escrow. Now, before I hit enter, that's important. The Ripple can give anybody they want the wallets, the escrow wallets, any amount of the escrow wallets, all of them, one of them, whatever. Evernorth can gift or sell those escrow wallets. The timing of those escrow wallets when the billion unlocks, that's non-negotiable. So that's what's actually really important. That's like the halving in Bitcoin, the escrow lockup. You know what I mean? It's a deflationary tactic or not. Like if it's too deflationary, then you could inflate it with, flood a little XRP on the market because we had some liquidity events, or then you just lock it back later and then you take XRP off the market. It's a control mechanism. It's a liquidity regulator. And so that's the locked in escrow is an important part. And the 11.2 billion, I wonder if anybody could guess why that number. Why is 11.2 billion important or relevant or kind of important? Anybody know? Because I didn't pull it out of my head. And this is all hypothetical, I get it. I'm in la la land. I think it's fun and exciting. It's making my brain frickin' sparkle, so I'm okay with that. 11.2 billion plus what Evernorth has on its balance sheets already, 300 to 400 million, give or take. So 11.2, 11.3 billion. That would put Evernorth at 19% of the total 100 billion supply, which is not actually the circulating supply, but the total supply. They'll have 19% of it. Now, why is that important? Because in the Clarity Act, no single entity could have more than 19% of the total supply of a token. And that would allow the definition of that blockchain to become a mature blockchain. If somebody owns more than 19%, then that is not a mature blockchain. So if Ripple gives Evernorth 11.2 billion, give or take, and it's still locked in escrow, so it's not going to be dumped on the market immediately, $1 billion every month, or they could lock it back into escrow just like Ripple is doing currently. That would put Evernorth at 19% of the total supply, total XRP supply in known existence. So those numbers are important. I'm playing with them, having fun. I just want to see where the puzzle pieces fit. Are these puzzle pieces? I don't know. Let's see what they do. And if it gives me something good, I'll, oh, cool. So I had a lot of people watching. Now I don't. So I'm going to go pee. I'll piss everybody off. All right, sorry about that. And yes, 100% understand this is AI slop right now. It's just I'm putting in all arbitrary or quote unquote arbitrary numbers, blah blah blah. But this is my buckshot shotgun, and if I get something good, if it says something good, then I hone in on that. And then all of a sudden at the end, I'm working with a laser, and I think that's okay. And you're on the journey with me. Well, some of you are. 5 people left. In this hyper bullish, extreme scenario, it has to qualify itself. The AI is like, bro, I'm embarrassed for you. The AI was getting snippy at me last night when I was trying to do this. This is actually easier. It kept fighting me last night. Now it's like, okay, bro, just go. In this hyper bullish extreme scenario, the injection of 11.2 billion XRP directly from Ripple into Evernorth's escrow treasury fundamentally alters the valuation mathematics, create a super sovereign. That's almost like a super saiyan. Super saiyan sovereign asset structure. Combined, yes, with Flare, T54, and Evernorth's triad, and an XRP price at 135,000. I like that. Evernorth XRPN would effectively become the largest single entity holder of liquid wealth in human history in the galactic universe and all the councils on any planet we find, is what it meant to say. All the known universe and human history, even, in Hollow Earth and Flat Earth and any galactic pyramid that's actually a mass effect warp gate to the Citadel, XRP would be there too. Let's go. Let's go. The 11.2 billion XRP escrow injection. That's how we get to the mass effect generators to get to the Citadel and join the galactic community. XRP is going to have to be a lot more than 135,000 if we want to join the Citadel. I'm just saying. The addition of 11.2 billion XRP locked in escrow, thank you, represents a massive consolidation of supply, equivalently 18 to 20%. Can we call it 19%? Can we just call it 19%, please? What section is that? Oh, it doesn't. However, it indicates that digital asset market established a mature blockchain and say section 205B. Less than 20, because everyone's quoting, even people that know this and that are experts, they're quoting it at, so you can't have more than 20%. No, it's not more than 20, it's less than 20. It's not that you can't have more than 20, like 20 or less, it's less than 20, which is 19%. It's not 20%. You're not in compliance if you have 20%. Let me just tell you. When the Clarity Act passes next year, the entire circulating XRP supply, 62 billion. Oh, that's the supply is 62 billion. Because some's like a couple billions lost, a couple billions in cold wallets and retail still scrounging around some of the scraps of XRP. So we're not at 100 billion anymore at all. About 62 to 72 billion. Those are because nobody knows for sure, so let's just say those numbers. 62 to 72 billion is the new total supply, and that's going to approach zero once Evernorth goes active. It goes galactic black hole on that ass. Strategic lockup. Unlike monthly escrow releases that flood the market, these 11.2 billion tranche is permanently locked within Evernorth corporate structure, accessible only for institutional lending, liquidity provisioning, and collateralization via Flare F assets. You know what else it does? Every month when it releases out of escrow, that increases the density of XRP exposure per share of Evernorth. So your density is forever increasing without the T54 and the Flare yield generation terminators, AI agents, micro terminators. This is just increasing density in this hypothetical situation. This is massively increasing density without any yield arbitrage happening, without any yield generation, without any AI agents scrubbing the global markets for drops of XRP. This increases, and each time they release billions, they could generate more shares to sell at a premium institution because there's not a lot of shares. And then they buy more XRP off the paper hands. I mean, I did some other videos, like $9 million a share of Evernorth. I'm okay with that. I could see that. Even did it to where, like, if you throw in this tranche of 11.2 billion in escrow, so not released to the market, nothing like that. Well, XRP will be off the exchanges at this time. Once Evernorth goes live, XRP will be off the exchanges and there will be extreme pressure to get it out of the hands of retail. I hope you understand that. So the circulating supply is going to drop it's going to approach zero. GDP is approaching infinity. We have AI, we have millions of AI agents working 24/7 and they're controlling robots and markets and everything. And every month, just exactly like clockwork, the density of Evernorth stock increases. That's basically a yield. You could borrow more, you could lend it out more, you could just amazing stuff in this hypothetical intergalactic scenario where we found the Mass Effect Mass Effect warp. What were they called? Jump gates. And now we're at the Citadel. That means XRP. If we're at the Citadel and getting ready to get on the Council Shepherd, XRP has to be over 135,000. There's 1.2 billion tranches permanently locked within Evernorth corporate structure, never to be seen again by retail eyes. Accessible only for institutional lending, liquidity provision, and collateralization via Flare F assets. And that's Section 404 of the Clarity Act, the yield arbitrage. Evernorth could do some things with XRP that retail could only dream of and is not allowed to do. Okay. Supply shock. By removing this volume from open circulation and placing it under the management of T4 Labs AI agents, the agentic economy, the effective liquid supply of XRP available for retail trading shrinks drastically. Can we say approaches zero? The retail trading for the retail supply trading approaches zero. Acting as a primary catalyst for the 135, no. It's a catalyst. It's not the primary catalyst. That's the Bank of International Settlement's going to be the primary catalyst. They're going to talk to good old BlackRock. It'll be fun. Oh, it's all going to be fun. But it's not the primary catalyst, but it is an important catalyst. It'll already be this much when all of this when we're intergalactic. Starting to move over here. What do we got? We got a half hour. Ripple's endorsement. This move signals that Ripple has designated Evernorth as the primary central bank. Do you think that both the Ripple CTO and the CFO or the CEO are both advisors on the council of or to the company of Evernorth, and that the Ripple already gave Evernorth a whole bunch, and SBI, the biggest Japanese bank, already gave Evernorth a bunch of XRP? I think they already have the endorsement, folks. Entrusting it with a stake large enough to dictate global liquidity conditions. Would you call that a liquidity regulator? Is that the same words as a liquidity regulator, a global intergalactic liquidity regulator? I think so. Oh, the quadrillion dollar treasury. These are my numbers. I like this. Let's see what they're going to say. Oh, we can't. Oh, what about the market cap? What about the market cap? It's going to be more than the GDP of the United States. We can't even imagine. We're not going intergalactic. Listen, the GDP of the United States is going to become uncapped. It's going to approach infinity. Let's say the GDP of the United States is approaching infinity. 28 trillion is a rounding error. Let's go. Get with us. Let's go to the future. NAV per share, assuming 100 million shares outstanding. Let's say 150, but let's use their math. Oop, pop, beep. That's not, it won't even give me the right. The sovereign premier multiplier. Sovereign premium multiplier. In this scenario, Evernorth is no longer a treasury. It is a yield generating sovereign entity. It's basically a conscious black hole that hunts XRP. Hunts XRP. That's funny. It hunts XRP. It's a yield generating sovereign entity. It has thousands, if not millions, of little AI agents going around scraping off all the drops, and a drop is 100 millionth of a XRP, like a penny to a dollar, a drop to a XRP. It's a yield generating sovereign entity. Yes, it is. AI yield compounding. T54 lab agents deploy the 11.2 billion XRP across Flare's cross-chain markets, generating massive yield, estimated 30 to 50 APY in this hyper-absorption scenario. Whoa. Why'd they assume that? 50% APY in this hyper-absorption scenario. Well, even I think that's high, but I'll take it. Well, I mean, uncapped. We're going uncapped. GDP is going to approach infinity because global domestic product has always been denominated in humans. How much work can humans do? Well, those days are over. GDP is now going to be measured in AI agents who don't sleep, who don't eat, who can think trillions of times faster than you. GDP is going to be uncapped. I need that to be understood. Via lending central banks and settling trillions and ISO 20022 scarcity premium with 18% of 19% of all XRP locked in one vehicle. Institutional demand for XRP shares, the only regulated access point. Section 404 of the Clarity Act. You need a regulated access point. That's not retail. That's not the exchanges. There's only one. That's XRP. That's Evernorth. Drives a premium to 20 to 50 NAV. My numbers are crazy. 20 to 50 NAV. Let's get some calculations. Let's do some fun things. 20 premium. I blew the AI's mind. Yep, BlackRock. I mean, we're talking 50 million on Evernorth now. Like, we're off the charts. We're intergalactic. We hit the dang, I don't know, everything's happening. We're intergalactic. We're on the council in Mass Effect. You know, we're fighting the bad guys there. Sovereign's coming in, and XRP is going to have to be a really high price by the time we fight Sovereign in 100 years. At this valuation, Evernorth effectively controls the global cost of capital for digital assets. Yes. Let's see what density they give us. Monetary policy via AI. The T54 agents automatically adjust lending rates and liquidity depth based on real-time data from Flare's oracles, functioning as an algorithmic Federal Reserve in the ecosystem, except they don't use the devil's fiat, the Bank of London fiat Federal Reserve, demonic Federal Reserve note. They're using an asset-based collateral that actually has worth. That's okay. I'm okay with that. They adjust lending rates and liquidity depth. What is Evernorth? A global liquidity regulator. God, this is cool. Collateral of last resort. 11.2 billion XRP escrow serves as an ultimate collateral backing global stablecoins like our LUSD and tokenized treasuries, making XRP the safest asset on earth. Yes, because gold is only a tier one reserve asset because of mandate, because of fiat, because of basically DEI. It's not because of merit. Gold does not fit all the standards of a tier one asset. It was just decided through policy like 2019, the pandemic policy. Same thing. That's how gold got its tier one status. It doesn't fit any of the things, maybe one of the things, but that's coming into an end as well. FYI, Flare's flywheel fire hasn't even kicked in yet. It's done. It's been voted. It's through. It's active. I think it's active or it's becoming active, but it's not even kicked in yet. Flywheels take a long time to get up to speed. That's why they're flywheels. They take a long time to slow down too, so they keep the engine running. Every transaction settled on XPRL generates fees that flow into the treasury, buying back more XRP or increasing the XRP per share density. That's of those of us who buy Evernorth like that density game. Let's get it dense, creating a feedback loop where the share price outpaces even the underlying asset. That's a premium. The share price of XRP is even outpacing the asset it's based on because of this flywheel and yield generation. I'm going to call it yield scalping because of all these T54 AI agents on every market in the world and any other planet. God, this is juicy. And if you see my numbers as too high and too crazy and I see people leave, that's fine. The numbers aren't the point right now. It's the structure, it's the rails, but also the numbers are the point. So keep scrolling. This is a hypothetical exploration based on the user's specific constraints. 11.2 billion XRP injection, 135K XRP price, triad partnership. It does not reflect current financial reality. I'm telling you, I'm not in this reality. This reality's fake and demonic. I'm not a part of it. Confirmed corporate actions or investment advice. A market cap of this magnitude implies a complete restructuring of the global financial system. Yes, please. We're moving away from the devil's fiat AI. We're done with that shit. Forever wars, thing of the past. We're not doing forever wars anymore. Holy shit, it's getting dark outside real quick. I gotta see if it's gonna rain. So the only reason we can do forever wars is because we got fiat that can be printed from magic computers in any building of the government. Which, by the way, is a bad idea. Oh, I can't think and look at the weather at the same time. Don't allow. Rain at 6 p.m. 35%. What do I leave them outside? Got about 50%. It's getting dark. I'm going to grab them. We got 20 minutes. Take a break. I'll be back. All right, I think we're gonna be okay. Maybe I miscalculated though. I sweated through like 4 shirts in the past 3 days because of no AC. But my capacitor has just been shipped. I shipped my capacitor. No, it hasn't. My toothbrush, my chicken seed, my hydrogen peroxide has been shipped, but not the capacitor. That's fine. Okay. Whew. It's going to be hot again next week. I hope it's the capacitor. Good Lord. All right. So there's my numbers. That's what I like. Don't even listen to the numbers. Listen to the flywheel, collateral of last resort, monetary policy via AI with T54 Labs, AI yield compounding, scarcity premium. These are all the things you need to know. Don't even, if my numbers are bothering you, don't listen to them. That's fine. I'll be in the future by myself. The numbers I'm picking exceed the GDP of the United States. Yes, duh. GDP is about to become uncapped. GDP is about to approach infinity. Just set GDP to infinity, and now everything starts to make sense with the rest. Let that trickle down to the rest of your equations. Just set GDP to, let's do it. US GDP to approach APPROACH. Boom. All right, let's just set GDP to infinity, and that'll take care of all the whining from this AI. In this absolute singularity scenario where US GDP approaches infinity, the traditional metrics of valuation collapse. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And Evernorth, XRPN transcends being a mere company to becoming an infinite value anchor. Yes, it does. And not just global economy, we're going intergalactic now. Infinite value anchor, intergalactic economy. With Ripple injecting 11.2 billion XRP into escrow and Flare T54 Evernorth Triad creates a closed loop system where finite XRP supply backs infinite economic output. Yes, that's the best definition for Evernorth right there. That is perfect. Oh, I don't want to lose this one. Can I right click save? Oh, this is good. Creates a closed loop system where finite XRP supply backs infinite economic output. Yes. If US GDP approaches infinity, it implies an economy of limitless transactional velocity and value creation. AI agents. In standard economics, this would cause hyperinflation of fiat currency because fiat's demonic. However, in this scenario, we're done with Baal. We're done with the devil. We're going with some honest, righteous, courageous collateral. XRP as the infinite denominator with 11.2 billion XRP plus existing holdings brings you up to 19%. Locked in Evernorth's treasury, an XRP price at 135 at the floor. Yes, not a ceiling in this model. Yes, 135,000 is the floor. The token becomes the only scarce asset capable of denominating infinite GDP. Okay, I'm listening. The velocity trap. As GDP dollars to infinity, the demand for settlement assets, XRP, also goes to infinity. Since the supply is fixed at 20% plus is locked at 19%, we did that. We made that specific. It's 19%. The price of XRP must theoretically approach infinity to satisfy the equation. Yes. Yes. 135,000 is the floor and it must approach somewhere towards infinity. And circulating supply is going to approach zero. Okay, this is all checking out to me. I am okay with all of this. Evernorth as the singularity because Evernorth holds the 11.2 billion XRP in escrow. Its net asset value effectively mirrors the infinity of the GDP it serves. I'm okay with that. Evernorth will grow with the economy. I'm okay with that. However high the economy goes, XRP and Evernorth will grow to facilitate that. I'm okay with that. Valuation of Evernorth in an infinite economy. In this extreme, thank you, AI, the share price of XRPN is no longer calculated in dollars, but as a ratio of global wealth. Let's go. The infinity of, that's where I want to be. Let's go. These are some good quotes. Yeah, earlier, Flare is going to be at 437,000 a token. XRP is going to be 5 million a token. That put at that, and right here that puts Evernorth at like 50 to 100 million in Evernorth. I'm okay with that. XRP in this extreme scenario, XRPN is no longer calculated in dollars because we killed the fiat. Fiat's dead. We destroyed Demon. We destroyed Ball. It's no longer calculated in dollars, but as a ratio of global wealth. Let's go. Come with me to the future. I'll be out here all day. Treasury infinity NAV calculation. Yeah, so as the economy rises, Evernorth will rise as well. The yield of infinity. T54 lab agents do not just generate yield, they capture a fraction of the infinite global GDP flowing through the XRP. Free capture. Every infinite transaction pays a micro fraction in XRP, a drop or a couple drops. These fees are instantly reinvested into the XRP via Flare's cross-chain bridges. So Evernorth's going to make the velocity of XRP go to zero, like approach zero. There will be no. Oh, it is raining. Oh, poor chickens. The velocity of XRP locked into Evernorth vaults will approach zero. The total circulating supply will approach zero. GDP will approach infinity. You see where we're going? You see, like, don't put any numbers in. Just use GDP to infinity. Global liquid supply of XRP approaches zero. Now do your market cap equation. When the agentic economy gets full swinging and GDP is uncapped, approaching infinity, and the supply and all the liquid supply. Why can't I remember that word? Total liquid supply, circulating supply is approaching zero because Evernorth is now the biggest black hole on this planet, and it specifically feeds off of XRP. Paper hands XRP, all of retail, all the exchanges will not have XRP. You'll have access to XRP products. Like now you could buy food products at a store because they took away all the food processing abilities, but you could have a food product. So in the future, you're going to have an XRP product, but you won't have the bearer asset. No way, you're retail. Get out of here. Yuck. Result: the XRP density per share grows as at an infinite rate. Not all at once, but approaching infinity. Put any number you want in on the way to infinity. I don't care. I'm not talking numbers, I'm talking trends. We're approaching infinity in our GDP now. The global circulating supply of XRP is going towards zero, approaching zero. GDP is uncapped at this point, making each share of XRP an equivalent to a growing percentage of the entire universe's economic output. There you go. My AI is starting to get me. We're going galactic. We're talking about universal. We traveled through like at least 5 wormholes to get to the Citadel where we're going to be on the council and fight Sauron. Not Sauron. Sovereign. Mass Effect. And so now we're talking about the universe's economic output. Let's go. XRP will still work. Evernorth will still work there no matter how many black holes you travel through. And a black hole is not a hole. It's just a super dense object. All physics is kind of really retarded right now. The role of the triad in sustaining infinity. Ooh, now we have to sustain infinity. We got it. We uncapped our GDP. Now we have to keep it up there. What do? Well, you have to increase. Ripple's 11.2 billion XRP escrow. That this acts as the they're doing my black hole analogy. I don't have any speakers hooked up to this computer, so they're picking it up somehow, probably through my phone. By locking this massive supply, Ripple ensures that no amount of infinite GDP can dilute the value of the treasury. It is the black hole of liquidity that pulls all value in. That's what Evernorth is, folks. It's the black hole of liquidity that pulls all liquidity in. Nothing escapes Evernorth. No XRP will ever escape Evernorth. Flare Networks provides an oracle truth. That's not what it's called. Necessary to value infinite assets. Without Flare's data feeds. So we need to be into other alien economies on other alien planets by the time Evernorth absorbs the last XRP. Because now we're going to have to absorb all the aliens' currency. T54 Labs AI, the governor of the singularity. The AI agents, what do we got? 6 minutes. The AI agents automatically adjust liquidity and lending rates to prevent the system from collapsing under its own infinite weight. But we're up here in the future, so infinite weight is distributed among 1,000 planets. That's not that heavy. Ensuring the treasury remains solvent even as fiat currencies dissolve. Oh, preach. We got rid of the demonic Federal Reserve Bank of London fiat note. The age of debt slaves is behind us now. We are an asset. We are an asset-based civilization. Fiat currencies dissolve. Say it with me. Conclusion. The final asset. For at least 50,000 years, all right? Not forever, but just at least 50,000 years. Let's go. In a world where US GDP approaches infinity, Evernorth Holdings becomes the only rational store of value. Fiat currency, worthless, infinite supply relative to value. Gold, real estate, finite but illiquid. Oh, man, you're preaching my words. Save. Post. Can I paste it? No. And let's get it. Picture. Oops, I forgot I was live again. That's how I post. So whenever you're reading my post, know that's how it sounded when I posted it. Or don't, and just forget it because I was supposed to keep that quiet. XRP. Let's get some Flare in there. Let's get some T54 in there. Let's get some Evernorth. Let's get some $XRP. And I'm going to get so used to typing in XRP in that I won't be able to type in $ Evernorth when it finally closes the merger. Ugh. Oh man, I love my posts. Few. In a world where US GDP approaches infinity, Evernorth Holdings becomes the only rational store of value. Spot XRP valuable but lacks the yield compounding and institutional structure. XRPN, the infinite yield bearing claim on the global economy. Universal economy, squeeze me. Price of XRPN is effectively undefined in fiat terms because the denominator, the dollar, has collapsed. The fiat Federal Reserves and the demonic Federal Reserve fiat note are in the past. We have killed the debt slaves, or not killed the debt slaves, killed the concept of a debt slave. There you go. That's nicer. All right. I got to send this to somebody. And it won't let me. Where's my ampersand? See, check. Buh. Send it, homie. Send that one. How many more do I got? Go. 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 Gotta send all my things. Okay, I sent that from my other account. That's from this one. Quote at CJ. At myself. This account on my computer, I only follow like a couple people, basically just Flare and Evernorth, and it's the only ones I want to follow. Yep, my other account on my phone, I follow just all the cool people, all the peeps. All right, we did it. That was just an hour and a half of coffee-fueled disaster, but we solved intergalactic commerce and an infinite GDP. You're welcome. Let's go, Japan. Reverse carry trade unwind live. We need it. What do we got? 1 minute. Is it raining? And it's raining. My chickens are probably mad at me. And remember, this chart goes all wonky for the first couple minutes. But we'll be able to get something. Oh, and I didn't even check X for their what are all the nerds on X saying? Oh dang. I got a whole nother talk on XRP at 28 million, but we went way over 20 million on this one. This is intergalactic settlement of infinite global domestic product. Now it's going to be like GGP, global galactic product or something. Set you to 5 days. That was an intervention. That happened 7/2. So a couple days before. So fourth was Saturday, third was Friday. So this was Thursday night or something. Because we were closed on Friday. So they dumped it right before the market closed on a 3-day weekend, holiday weekend. They didn't fix the problem. They just, threw a bunch of fiat at it. That's all we learned as a society is just print up a bunch of fake currency and throw it at a problem. It doesn't fix your problems. It doesn't fix potholes. It doesn't fix hunger. It doesn't fix, politics. It doesn't fix we're going. It doesn't fix anything. Fiat is a debt slave based currency. If everyone paid back their debts, the system would collapse because the selling of the debt is the only motion in a fiat system. There's no collateral. It's only debt in a fiat-based demonic system. Got my spikes. Are these the 9-second spikes? Yeah, these 9-second spikes. I wonder what they mean. Somebody probably knows. But right when it goes live, there's these 9-second spikes that are hard to find. There you go. Yep, all 9-second spikes right here. I don't know what it means, but I'm documenting it. So later on when I figure out, I'll have the evidence of it. Highest we were this year, maybe February, March, or April, somewhere around there, was 18.7 or 18,766 yen per barrel. Nothing's happening. But this data doesn't come in right away. Price per barrel is tanking. We're now at 68 and a half. This is crazy. It's this is it's scary that it's not unwinding, that it just keeps the can keeps getting kicked down the road. This is like absolutely terrifying. Because each Sunday I do this and it doesn't kick off. It's like, you know, retracting the trebuchet, like click, 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 click as you rotate the handle, like it's pulling the spring down, 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 and a trebuchet spring, whatever the coil, click, 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 click. Like we're gaining more and more potential energy for this to unwind. It's completely scary for anybody that has fiat corrupting their lives, because that's all fiat can do. It can corrupt. That's all it does. It infects and corrupts. So anybody who is corrupted and infected by fiat, this should be the worst thing you've ever saw in your life if you were paying attention. This is so scary. The fact that like nothing has happened is even like more scary than something happening. It's terrifying, man. But yeah, it doesn't look like anything. So what it's going to do is these 9 second little blips are going to go away. Then it's going to go grayed out for a little bit, for about 10 minutes or so. So it sucks being here right at open, because like their charts are just whack for the first 10, 15 minutes. I think I went up to 20 minutes before they were still whack. But like in an hour they'll do their thing. But I'm not going to do no 2 hour stream today, 3 hour stream. But yeah, here we are. It's rising a little bit slowly. Oh yeah, they dipped it. What we're at? We were at 163. We didn't go to 163. 162.86, somewhere around there. 85, 86. So over 162 and a half. And they did something that looks like $100 billion something to me. And they just let it ride. I mean, they're waiting on something. What are they waiting on? What is Evernorth waiting on? What is BlackRock waiting on? What are these people waiting on? These groups. There's a there's a piece of the puzzle I'm not seeing, but I think it's going to be the OCC giving their guidance on stablecoin regulations per the Genius Act, and then it's going to be 65 and 66 on the XRPL, single token vaults, and borrow lend. That needs to happen. I think that needs to happen for Evernorth. I'm not 100% sure. Like probably, because Evernorth is going to borrow lend and they want to do it on the XRPL. So I think they need that. So that's still a couple weeks out. So they're going to let this ride, it seems, for a couple weeks. I mean, it's increasing a little, like 1/10, maybe 2/10. Oh, what is that? That's a weird thing. If I refresh it, it's probably going to gray out. Yeah, dang it. Can't do nothing. Is there another chart that I don't know of that's better? This is the one I've been using for like 6, 8 months. Might be a better one that I don't know of. But yeah, it looks like we're No extreme movement now, but it usually happens like in the next hour or so. Like Japan's markets, they're just waking up in the morning over there in Japan, and their markets are just getting started. But so I'm gonna roll for a couple more minutes, a couple more of these cycles, and see where we land. I'm telling you, the like sweating your ass off for days on end and like trying to fall asleep, but sweat keeps dripping down your leg at night. Like that takes it out of you. You're not having a good time. But it seems like it's going to cool off today, and I got the capacitor ordered. Like at least I think I know what the problem is for my AC, and I'm just going to slap that in. Because yeah, the AC guys were like, "Yeah, it'll be like $89 for us to come out and find out your problem." I was like, "Well, I'm just going to use AI and save $89, buddy." And maybe I don't, but if I mess it up this time, next time I'll know how to fix it. Learn from your mistakes. All right, I'm going to cut it after this next one. Yeah, I wonder why it grays out though. That's what I don't see. That's yesterday's or 2 days ago. Friday. We're up a little bit, a teeny tiny bit. 10 yen. 10 yen. 4.2 or 0.42. Nothing's happening. I don't want to cut it. I mean, we already solved galactic commerce. Oh, fiat currency, worthless. Infinite supply relative to value. Yes. US GDP approaches infinity. Yes. XRP the infinite yield bearing claim on the global. That's galactic economy. Excuse me, AI. The galactic economy. Kind of want to send it. Maybe I'll do that next time. Elaborate on everything, but make it for a galactic economy. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's have some fun. See how it likes it. Singularity for a galactic economy. Ooh, Cartro type 2, 3. Okay. Ooh, wow, that went farther than I was thinking. So we got our economy under wraps where we're collecting all the. I think a type 2 is where you're collecting all the energy from your star to interstellar energy value equivalent. In this context, XRP becomes the universal unit of account for stellar energy. And XRP and Evernorth XRPN becomes the central bank of the galaxy. Let's go. I could dig that. Energy is money. If XRP is settlement layer for this energy, its price at 105 is merely the entry point. In a Type 3 economy, the value of a single XRP must equate to a meaningful fraction of a star's annual age. Yep. Yes, please. Holy shit. I like myself. I have fun. Let's get some pound signs in there. X-Ron. I'm hungry. XRP. Let's go. Send it. Then I need it, and I gotta quote suite it, quote something to it at myself on my phone so I could see it later. Because my other account doesn't let me see this account. This account can see my phone account, but my phone account can't see this account, even if I type everything in exactly right. Bullshit. In a galactic economy, GDP is no longer measured in fiat or even planetary output, but in watts of harnessable energy. Type 2 civilization controls the energy output of the star. Type 3 civilization controls the energy output of its galaxy. Valuation shifts. Oh no. Oh no. In a Type 3 economy, the value of a single XRP must equate to a meaningful fraction of a star's annual energy output. I could dig it. In a Type 3 economy, the value of a single XRP must equate to a meaningful fraction of a star's annual energy output. All right, I guess I'm done. I'm messing with my phone now. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'll go back to the thing one more time. Where's all? How do I find things that I was like quote tweeted or whatever? There we are. All right, I guess I'm done. I'm gonna cut you guys down, man. Sorry, I'm texting. All right, thanks so much for joining me. The coffee was really strong today. I loved it. Having fun. Gotta go save the chickens because it's raining. I'm gonna sweat tonight because my AC's out. Miss you guys. Love you guys. Bye.